Here on this show for a number of years, but she's always busy doing her own TV shows, running around the world, entertaining. Lovely lady. She's with us tonight, Cilla Black. Hello, sir. Oh, is it passion?
Well, why not? We know each other well.
Lovely to see you again.
Thank you.
Sit there, if we know each other that well.
They put me here at rehearsal
Oh,
when you want me clever.
I wasn't here then. Just sit. I'd like the feel of
Right.
you. You see, I'm always...
You like the feel of me?
Well, I'm always missing you at airports, I think. I gather that's from the new album, and this is very cunning, this is. I can tell it's a new album because, look, they've only sent us the sleeve, haven't
Yeah,
they?
that's called Surprisingly Still. Actually, I'm very excited about it because it's the first one I've done for nearly 5 years, you know.
Is it?
So
That's
I'm
a
very
nice song.
excited about
Is that song on it, the one you just sang?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, definitely.
Listen, I was just going to say, I saw you actually, I think, get this wrong, kipping across a couch in New Zealand. I saw you asleep in a lounge in Sydney, Australia, and also in Hong Kong. We keep, as I'm going to Australia, she's coming back. It's nothing personal. We're all just missing each other.
I know, we're like ships in the night, Des. I mean, you know, that's the thing, really. People think that show business is a glamorous life, but it really isn't. I mean, I've kipped in more airports than I have in beds. I have. I have indeed.
What about Australia?
Well, I love Australia. I mean, just like you. The first time I went to Australia, it's my second home. I first went there in 1965, when Sydney Airport was like, well, it was just a shed.
Yeah.
You know, and it's lovely. I love the Australians. I love the people because they're just like me, dead common. No, they are. And also they're very adventurous, as you know. I mean, not only in what they do in television. Oh, adverts, I must tell you, I saw this advert the time before last. And it made me giggle because I tell you what was on the telly. During the day you watch the telly, don't you? And the Australian Open, on the women's champion of the, you know, not Wimbledon, tennis, yes. And everybody was there, all the girls, you know, Navratilova, and the girls were there as well. And it was wonderful. It was absolutely smack. And in the middle of all this tennis thing, they shove up the adverts, and I saw this marvellous advert with another girl, a big girl she was, playing tennis. But when I say big, Des, I mean, you know, she was big. She had these dirty big boobs. And this advert was done in slow motion. So if you can imagine this, not on me, because, you know what Frankie Howard says about me?
What?
I'm the only girl he knows with two backs. No, don't you dare clap that, because that's the truth. But, and this Australian advert was all in slow motion. This girl was at this fall and her boobs were going.
How are they going?
And the other way as well. And then this voiceover came, and this man said, "There are times when the only things we want to bounce are the balls." Which I thought was hysterical. I found out later that it was an advert for a sports bra.
Looking back, you were the only lady signed by the Beatles manager Brian Epstein, right? Or
Yes.
Stein.
Yes.
You could...
I'd say Brian Epstein.
Yeah. I mean, that was very unusual. And there was a piano involved.
Well, it's not as unusual as it sounds, but the piano was involved because I had all these managers coming up, you know, when the boom, the Mersey boom broke wide. I had all these would-be managers coming up to Liverpool, but they all had to pass the Sunday tea time test with me dad. You know, my dad was a docker, and all these, he actually turned a lot of them down because they spoke Cockney. No offence, but they did. And then Brian Epstein came to tea one Sunday, and he thought, because his dad, you see, owned a store, a furniture store, and he thought, we bought a piano from his dad, and that's still working, so he can't be half bad. And that's why I signed up with Brian. But you know, when Brian brought the contract, he had my name. You know, I was underage, I couldn't sign. And
How old were you?
Well, I was just 20. Well, I was 19 when I made my first record, but I was just going on 20. And at that time, I don't know what the laws are now, you had to be 21 to sign a contract.
Yeah.
Anyway, my dad saw at the top of this contract. He didn't understand the rest, but he saw the name Cilla Black, and he said, "Oh, wait up a minute, love, you know." "All right there, Ace, you know. Her name's White, her name's Cilla White." And Brian was a bit shocked and stunned because he knew my name was some colour, but he didn't realise. And he quite said to me, "Dad, you know, well, I rather like the name Cilla Black." And that's how I became Cilla Black. But my dad, being a docker, they never forgave him. Because you see, when he went down, everybody on the docks have names, you know that. You must have heard everybody talk about Stanley Matthews, I'll take this corner over here, you know, and things like that. Well, my dad's original nickname was Shiner, because he always had lovely shiny boots when he went to work. But then when I became famous, they called him the frustrated minstrel, because he didn't know whether he was black or white.
You were the first presenter of a major TV show, a female presenter. You did interviews live.
Yeah.
I think that was a fairly new thing. A lot of funny moments in there, weren't there?
Oh, do you want a list?
Please, well, just one or two.
Oh, well, a lot of things happened. On a lot of the shows, most of the shows, I used to do these outside little interviews in the street and go up to people and say, do you know who I am? Oh, there was a lovely one this day, though. I mean, they used to point me to people and say, oh, pick on her or pick on him, but I spotted one day, and he was an Adonis. He looked like Warren Beatty, Paul Newman, Richard Gere rolled into one. Oh, you could have met him. He was beautiful. And I went up to him and I did this lovely interview. We had a lovely chat. And I said to him, I'm collecting requests for my TV show. Is there anybody, anywhere that you'd like me to sing a song for? And he said, yes, Cilla. He said, thank you very much. I'd like you to sing You're My World. I said, great, no problem. Who shall I sing it for? And he looked straight into the camera and he said, he'll know who it's for.
And then, of course, you did some things on Surprise, Surprise, which, you know, you couldn't use. I mean, that happens to all of us. Was there any particular one that...
Well, there's lots on Surprise, Surprise. I'm going on a tandem now. Or tandem or tangent?
Tangent.
Tangent, okay.
That's a fellow on a bike.
You've got... Actually, it links with the story, because have you ever done the Ed Sullivan Show?
Yes, once. Twice.
Have you?
Twice,
Have
yes,
you?
yes.
Well, I've done it 3 times. Anyway, the very first time I did the Ed Sullivan Show, 1 trillion years ago, as you know, you do a dress rehearsal, and you have an audience like this at the dress run. Now, if you, as the Americans call it, bomb out, you're not on the show that night. Anyway, apparently I passed the audition. I was on the show that night. And I was following chimpanzees. No, but they were a lovely act, and I love animals and everything. And, you know, the little girl chimpanzees were in pink, and the boys were in blue. And they rode their little bicycles, the tandems. You're right, Daniel, around the little ring there, you see. But at the dress run, the director said, you know, the ring is too wide, I can't get the shots. For the show, it must come, you know, it must come in. So I'm standing by, and these chimps go on, and they ride round this ring. But how can you tell a chimp that you've shortened this ring? They're only used to driving round, you know, the same size what they do in the circus. Well, they went berserk, the chimps. They fell off the bicycle, started ripping the clothes off, and doing things that even they don't do in Jackie Collins' book. Anyway, he quickly introduced me on, and he introduced me as a singer from Wales. And I got on, and my opening number actually is the #1 record today. Well, it has been this recent weeks. Is you know, the Martha and the Vandella, the Mick Jagger, calling out. And I got as far as that, and this boy chimp grabbed hold of me leg and started making mad, passionate love to me leg. And it's live television, and you're going out, you know, the viewers, about 18 million viewers, and I thought, and I'm kicking me leg. But I got through the song, and I got through the show, and that's only just one embarrassing thing that happened to me over there.
Well,
Mind you, I quite enjoyed it.
We're going to have to invite you back and get a lot more embarrassing moments from our Cilla, aren't we? By the way, the book is out. I did mention it, Step Inside. Could you have written one like Jackie?
I don't know. Well, I've read a couple of Jackie's books. I admire her very strongly. I love it. It's all in my mind. I've just got to put it in the book. But I mean, all the little anecdotes that I've been telling tonight
are in there.
Well, most of them, and more.
Liverpool, especially.
Actually, I'll finish up with a nice one about our Jack, because I talk a lot about Liverpool and the family. Yeah. And there's a lovely one about our Jack. And it happened recently, we had 1 week, I think, of nice weather, many moons ago. And our Jack came in the kitchen eating an ice cream lolly, and he dropped it on the floor, and one of our big dogs, our Hazel, came in, because she was up, and woofed it up. Well, our little Jack's face, he was upset. And I turned me back and he disappeared in the garden. 5 minutes later, he came back in with this dirty big smile on his face. And I thought, you cheered up, you know, considering that you've had your iced lolly taken from you. He said, I've fixed that Hazel. Oh, she'll never do that again. I've fixed her. I've just drunk her water.
Ladies and gentlemen, good luck with the book and the LP. Cilla Black, always a pleasure to see you. Good night and see you next week.
No.